Hey there, what's going on, you guys? Are you ready to go on an adventure? We just recently went up to the Sierra here in California, and you guys are gonna go on the journey with me. Now, it's been a few weeks since I had a video, and we're gonna talk about a bunch of things, but one thing we're gonna talk about is adventure's necessary quality of life, and we took a little time off. It's been 6 years since Corey and I had a real vacation, so we took some time off to spend with one another, and now we're back. Now we do all kinds of things on this channel. Today I'm going to talk about, so you want to get into overlanding, and we're going to hit some topics and maybe some things you haven't heard before. So let's go along for the ride. Now, if you guys have been following along for a while, we've got some great things coming up. Parnell and I have been working on the center console and the 80. We've got some final chapters there. And of course, we're gonna continue to do our gear reviews. If you're new here, you guys, overlanding, vehicle-dependent travel, it is such a reward. At the same time, you really need quite a bit of information to have a fun and safe adventure. So we do a lot of that on this channel. I've got some gear reviews coming up. It's all gear that we use. If there's stuff that falls apart, you just won't hear about it from us. But if we do talk about it, it means we use it and it's awesome. So great gear reviews coming up. We've got some rig walkarounds coming up. Now, this trip up to the Sierras, after Corey and I got back from our vacation, I took my daughter. You guys don't see her on this channel all that frequently, but I took my daughter up to the Sierras, and we had a few days out there. And while we went out there, I just was reminded there's so many things that, you know, maybe now I take for granted that might be not so obvious to folks who are just getting started. So overlanding, vehicle-dependent travel, that's how we define it. Overlanding is vehicle-dependent travel, and we don't define it beyond that, because with Overland Bound, which is our community and our software platform and our resources, overlandbound.com, with Overland Bound, we have a set of founding principles, and it basically boils down to everyone is welcome, be nice, share information. We all started somewhere. You can find our founding principles over on our website. But along with that, the reason we just say vehicle-dependent travel is because you guys get to define what overlanding is for you. There's no right rig, there's no, proper way to do it. You just have to be safe while you're out there. Tap into the resources at Overland Bound if you are just getting started. Go to a local event, find out how people outfitted their own rigs. There's somebody out there that has done it in a similar way to what you want to do. Now, this trip out to the Sierras, it was very special to me. I'll move through the personal part of this relatively quickly, and we'll get to some tips and trips. But my daughter's been struggling, and she's in high school, and she's absolutely one of the most brilliant humans I've ever known. She is a fantastic artist. She's a 4.0 student. The way she processes information is brilliant, but she has a really hard time in high school. And, it got me to thinking, when we're out there having an adventure, you know what doesn't come up? Any of that. And so for you guys, maybe that's something to consider. If you are looking into getting into overlanding, one of the awesome rewards is that centeredness and that peace of mind that you will get from being out there far away from anybody. It's why we say adventure is necessary, is because you get a different perspective when you're out there having an adventure, and really you're left with your thoughts and the basic important things in life. Again, personal, but it's worth reflecting. What kind of society are we creating when our children really struggle to navigate it? And yet, you take them out into the wild and all those troubles sort of melt away. I expect teenagers to have troubles, but to a certain extent. It's just worth reflecting on. How can we, as shepherds, leaders, mothers and fathers, cultivate experiences and environments that make us feel grounded and don't destabilize us? Well, that's part of what overlanding is all about. So it was a great trip, and just a fantastic adventure. You guys can see in some of the footage, we're absolutely alone out there. And that's one of the reasons you may want to try out overlanding. You want to outfit your rig, you want to figure out where you're going to go and what the requirements are going to be for your vehicle. Do your research in advance so that you're properly prepared. You can get out there with any kind of vehicle. You just have to make sure that your vehicle is capable of doing what you're going to ask it to do. You see, I've got my own water filtration system here, and that's because water is heavy. So one of the first things you want to consider when you're overlanding is where you're going to get your water. You can carry it all, but if you're going to be gone for 5 days and you need 2 gallons per person per day at a minimum at 8-ish pounds per gallon, you start doing the math, and that's super, super heavy. So we bring the means of filtering our water with us. That's part of being safe. You may want to do something like that as well. So do your research in advance, make sure your vehicle is up to the task, make sure you have the basic things that you need, and then disperse. We're encouraging people within the community, and especially people just looking into overlanding, to go beyond the beaten path. And you might say, Michael, well, geez, that's obvious. That's why we do this. But not so obvious. There are people that have been overlanding, this travel overland adventure, for a long time. And we kind of take it for granted that you're going beyond the beaten path and you're kind of finding your own way. But people just getting into it, especially over the last couple of years, where so many people want to outfit a vehicle and get out there, they end up going to popular places like the Anza Borrego or, the Yosemite and, other monuments that are well known. And you have a tremendous impact on the environment when you do that. You go to the Grand Canyon, where a lot of folks go, and it has a negative impact on the environment. So we're encouraging people to disperse, but to do it safely, and that's what we're all about, and you can do it. So Overland Bound, I will mention now Overland Bound 1, which is our software. You want to find some place close to you, a place to adventure, just go to the map in Overland Bound 1. It will connect you to the community. That's what the software does. It will show you where live events near you are, and it will allow you to do really high-tech offline mapping and navigation with unprecedented accuracy. And we built it because there wasn't a tool out there for our community like that. So check out Overland Bound 1. It's on iOS and Android, and get out there. So going beyond the beaten path, just prepare and find these epic locations. You'll find yourself by yourself, and you'll hear people say, man, it's way too crowded out there, and there aren't any isolated places anymore. That is completely false. People who say that, you're just not trying hard enough, or perhaps you don't have the right gear to get out there yet. But those places are out there. On this adventure into the Sierras, we were out there for 3 days, and there was nobody else where we went. So you have to do a little bit more research, but the places are out there, and it's actually better for the environment. Disperse and go and find those epic locations. And they're locations that are as epic as the more popular spots. You just need to find them. Now you guys, don't be intimidated by all the fancy trucks you see out there. Those are folks that have decided that this is one of the most important things in their life. And many people are like that because once you're out there adventuring, you get reconnected with something very deep, primitive, deep inside your soul, and it connects you and makes you feel grounded. So many people discover that and decide, this is one of the most important things I can be doing. And certainly that was true for me. That's why I started Overland Bound. Is I grew up like this, doing these things. I didn't do it for a long time. I did it when my life went to total hell, and it saved me. So many people have decided this is one of the most important things that they can do for themselves and for their family. And so they continue to invest in their gear and their equipment. And then before you know it, you end up with a truck like mine, that is fully kitted out, or something even bigger. But good for them, right? For deciding that this is really important. But you don't need all the fancy equipment to get out there to locations like this. Just be safe, be prepared, file a trip plan, tell people when you're going to be back, and go out there on an adventure. Hey guys, so we are here. We've been here a couple of days. I'm here with my daughter. Day 3. And we've just been holed up here. Now, we have really been enjoying this. Our schedule's been mighty busy. I'll tell you about that in a second. But we've got the rig set up here. This is base camp. And, kitchen, we sleep in there. I'll show you that real quick. Just real quick. No, this isn't a rig walk around. I'm just saying hi. So we're now on day 3, and man, there is nobody here. There hasn't been anybody here. We're doing this thing now, and that is trying to encourage people to go. Of course, we say adventure is necessary. We're trying to encourage people to go a little bit farther beyond the beaten path, you guys, because one, you get a spot like this with nobody here. I mean, there's nobody here. So let's go down and take a closer look. Y'all see what I mean? Okay, there's chipmunks and lizards and frogs and fish. But we have our very own private swimming hole here. Nice and deep and cool, and it spills over. There's a little waterfall on the other side of this pool. But here's the other thing. Prep out a little bit more. Be prepared. Go to places like this, and not only are they epic, but then as a community of adventurers, we're having a less of an impact on locations that everybody goes to. So, that is an issue. Going outside, being prepared, outfitting, vehicles, and having a little adventure with the family is really popular, and it should be, because it makes us sane. But keep in mind, if you go to a place like this and you do a little bit more research to find these locations, then you're not having as much of an impact as if you go to, Yosemite National Park, or Anza Borrego, or any of these places that everyone likes to go to. And the rewards are awesome. We've just been having a great time. Now, I mentioned our schedule. Being out here takes a lot of work. And so our schedule's just been kind of grueling. We get up, gotta make coffee, got to make breakfast, got to read a book, got to come down here in our chairs, watch the grass grow, watch the fish swim. Then we talk about where we're going to hike. Then we hike. Then we come back, then we make lunch. Then I take a nap, then we read books, then we go on another hike, make dinner, talk to the camera every once in a while. Anyway, it's been very, very relaxing. You guys, yeah, go a little bit farther beyond the beaten path, outfit the rig. You know, there's lots of videos on this channel about how to outfit the rig, but you know, go a little bit further and have an adventure, a true adventure. You'll love it. If you haven't done it in a little while, rekindle that need, and if you've never done it, you'll be addicted. You guys, it's just great out here. All right, now, gotta go and make some chow.